When Georgie and Mandy's first marriage premiered, it gave fans a warm sense of nostalgia while introducing something new. The spin-off picked up where Young Sheldon left off, focusing on Georgie Cooper and Mandy McAllister as they tried to navigate young parenthood, marriage, and adulthood. But now, with Season 2 underway, there's even bigger news stirring excitement among fans. Several stars from Young Sheldon and even The Big Bang Theory are returning. This crossover of worlds isn't just fan service. It's a thoughtful way of connecting decades of storytelling, showing how the Cooper family's legacy continues to evolve. Seeing familiar faces return to the Georgie and Mandy spinoff adds a layer of depth that the first season only hinted at. For fans who spent years watching Young Sheldon, and even longer following The Big Bang Theory, these returns feel like a full-circle moment. The franchise has always been about family, not just by blood, but through shared history. Bringing back these beloved characters strengthens that connection and reminds viewers where it all started. Let's start with the most anticipated returns, the characters from Young Sheldon. Of course, Georgie and Mandy are still front and center. Montana Jordan and Emily Osment carry the emotional weight of the show beautifully. But what fans are really buzzing about is the reappearance of the Cooper family. Mandy and Georgie's story can't exist in isolation. It's tied deeply to Sheldon, Missy, and Mary. Season 2 is taking full advantage of that by bringing those characters back into the mix in meaningful ways. According to behind-the-scenes reports and interviews, Zoe Perry, who played Mary Cooper, will be reprising her role in at least a few episodes of Season 2. This is huge because Mary has always been the heart of the Cooper family, grounding her kids even as their lives spiral in different directions. Her relationship with Georgie has always been a blend of tough love and compassion. She knows he's not as academically gifted as Sheldon, but she's also seen how hardworking and resilient he can be. Bringing her back gives Georgie's storyline emotional grounding and continuity. In Young Sheldon, we saw Mary and Georgie clash a lot, especially after his relationship with Mandy became complicated. There were hurt feelings, miscommunications, and moments of deep disappointment. But there was also love underneath it all. In First Marriage Season 2, Mary's return could serve as a way to heal some of those old wounds, or maybe open new ones as Georgie tries to find his identity as a husband and father. That dynamic could bring emotional realism to the spin-off, reminding fans that even though Georgie is grown now, he still has a lot to learn from his mother. Then, there's the question of Missy. Reagan Reverd, who played Sheldon's twin sister, has hinted at being open to returning to the role, and fans have speculated that Season 2 will find a natural way to bring her back. Missy's perspective has always been one of quiet understanding mixed with frustration. She sees her family for who they are, flaws and all. Having her visit Georgie and Mandy could provide both comic relief and heart. She might tease Georgie for settling down so young, but she'd also be there to support him when things get tough. A reunion between the Cooper siblings could also give fans a sense of closure after how Young Sheldon ended. That finale left many fans emotional, especially as it marked the end of an era. Bringing these characters back, even briefly, helps the franchise transition smoothly into its new phase without losing its emotional roots. It also gives viewers the opportunity to see how the Cooper kids have grown and changed since the loss of their father, George Sr., which still looms large over the family story. But what's truly fascinating is that Georgie and Mandy's first marriage isn't just leaning on Young Sheldon nostalgia, it's starting to bridge toward the Big Bang Theory timeline too. In recent interviews, executive producer Steve Holland mentioned that subtle nods to the Big Bang Theory will be woven into Season 2, including Easter eggs that fans of the original series will immediately recognize. This doesn't mean adult Sheldon or Amy will suddenly show up, but it does mean we'll start seeing more connections between Georgie's present and the future world that the Big Bang Theory established. One of the most exciting possibilities is seeing older versions of familiar Big Bang Theory characters appear in flash-forwards or even through storytelling references. For instance, fans know that in the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon often mentioned Georgie owning a chain of tire stores in Texas. We've already seen Georgie working toward that future, but now Season 2 might show the early stages of how his business truly takes off. If that's the case, it would give context to those moments Sheldon talked about years later, making the spin-off feel like a living bridge between time. And let's not forget, The Big Bang Theory already established that Georgie and Sheldon eventually reconnect after years of tension. Bringing in small references to Sheldon's future self, maybe through narration, a phone call, or a brief cameo, would make this universe feel cohesive in a way few sitcoms ever manage. It's that sense of continuity that keeps fans emotionally invested, even after 17 years of stories across two major shows. Another interesting aspect of the returning cast members is how they could expand the emotional tone of the show. Young Sheldon was often a blend of comedy and heartfelt drama, while The Big Bang Theory leaned heavily on humor and pop culture references. First Marriage sits somewhere in the middle. It's about real-life struggles, parenthood, financial pressure, and figuring out love in the middle of chaos. By bringing back familiar faces, the show can ground those themes while still giving fans moments of warmth and levity. For instance, imagine a storyline where Mary comes to visit Georgie and Mandy, only to find them struggling to keep their marriage together while raising a toddler. It's the kind of moment that perfectly balances humor and sincerity. Mary might offer advice that's both caring and overbearing, leading to classic family tension. At the same time, we'd see her quietly realizing that her son has become a responsible man in his own right, even if he doesn't do things the way she would. That kind of storytelling only works when you have that shared history between the characters, and that's what makes these returns so valuable. There's also potential for the show to bring back other side characters from Young Sheldon, people like Mima, played by Annie Potts. She's always been a fan favorite and a pivotal figure in Georgie's life. Her humor, blunt wisdom, and love for her family made her stand out in every scene she was in. Even a short appearance from Mima could elevate First Marriage Season 2, adding that familiar touch of wit and heart that longtime fans adore. From a storytelling perspective, these returns also help solidify First Marriage as part of a larger universe rather than just a standalone spin-off. That's important because audiences today expect continuity and connection across shows. We've seen this in other franchises like Better Call Saul expanding the Breaking Bad world, and Georgie and Mandy has the same potential to enrich the Big Bang Theory universe through emotional storytelling, not just callbacks. Montana Jordan and Emily Osment have already proven they can carry a show on their own. Their chemistry is believable, their performance is grounded. But by surrounding them with familiar faces, the show creates a balance between fresh storytelling and beloved familiarity. It also gives them more to play off emotionally. Georgie's growth, for example, becomes even more powerful when we see him through his family's eyes, not just as a young husband, but as the once immature teen who's now trying to be a man his father would have been proud of. On the production side, Steve Holland and the creative team have been careful not to make these returns feel forced. According to Holland, the goal isn't to rely on nostalgia, but to use these appearances to deepen the story. Every returning character will serve a purpose, whether it's emotional support, conflict, or providing insight into Georgie and Mandy's relationship. That's a promising sign that the show isn't just chasing fan hype, but actually trying to tell a meaningful story. What's really exciting about all this is how it reflects the longevity of the Big Bang Theory universe. Think about it. This world started back in 2007, focused on a group of socially awkward scientists in Pasadena. Now, nearly 2 decades later, we're watching the next generation of Coopers raise their own family in Texas. That's something rare in television, a continuous universe that evolves naturally across time, generations, and tone. So, as Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 unfolds, the return of Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory stars isn't just about nostalgia. It's about connection between the past, present, and future of a story that millions have followed for years. It's a reminder that behind every genius like Sheldon, there's a family with